It's very difficult to run a mystery because you have to have such a level of, you can't lead them around by the nose because that's no fun or often that's no fun for anybody, but you can't lose them in the wilderness either. So that
I find it amazing that it even exists as an entertainment format.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time someone said, "Oh, we're gonna have a role playing night. You should come. It's really fun." Well, what is it? Oh, just come on. And so I'm like 15,
Right.
junior high. We got a room in the library, and these guys were right into it. I said, "Okay, what do I do?" He says, "Well, you need to come up with a character." What does that mean? Here's the book, and it's like the player's manual. Read that, and then you can come and join us. I was like, this is going to take me days. I can't.
Yeah.
And like you'd think that level of a barrier to entry would be enough to just shut it down completely as a cultural phenomenon, but no. Man, there's something driving us to go into that world that we're willing to go through these ridiculously complicated steps toward learning. You know?
And it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Well, we were talking to Dana just a little while ago.
Yeah.
She's a mom. She's a waitress. Her sons play. And she's like, I didn't know what D&D was. Yeah. And I'm going, you would like D&D, because she's a very open person. She's got a good imagination. I could just sort of see her sort of flower. She goes, oh yeah, I really enjoy it, So, but she's, I don't like the dice. I don't like, someone else handles the math,
Right.
It's like the back end to that world. It's like you're in the D&D, you can go to into the Star Wars world or into Middle Earth, and you go, oh, the richness of Middle Earth, and there's orcs and there's heroes and there's the magic ring, and that just, brings your soul up. But the back end, well, how does the ring work? That's a valid question. Like, what are the rules to the ring? And everything has a rule, and so you need the crunch people to make the fluff possible.
You need the consistency of it. Otherwise, without the consistency of it, without the rules, without the dice, you're just...
They have to be real stakes,
Yeah, well, but there has to be an impartial way of resolving resolving the outcome. Otherwise, you're two kids saying, I shot you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Right? So that's with the rules, with the crunch there. You roll the dice. We've determined through A, B, C, and D. This is the way you determine it. We've determined that if you roll a 14, you hit the orc. You rolled a 13, you didn't hit the orc. Well, I'm close. I know, but not there. So,
and it has to matter. I mean, okay, so when I was living in Toronto, I knew a bunch of writers and comics people, and we thought, hey, maybe we should, who needs dice? Who needs rules? We're writers. We're going to invent it ourselves. And you think, oh, that's a great idea. It's 100%, it falls, it's uninteresting. There's no stakes, like something about getting the blood going is like, okay, I could die. This character that I've spent the last year evolving and drawing pictures of and making the sort of diaries for this character, because every adventure, you write down your adventures. Books have come out of these kinds of games.
Oh, lots of books have come out of these kinds of games.
There was a group of kids that same group that I was talking about, they were playing Middle Earth on this old system from the 80s. And their rule was if your character dies, you hand over your character sheet and it gets torn up and burnt. Which is the kind of thing that terrified the parents groups. Like, what's happening? Are they worshiping Satan? What's happening?
Well, I'm terrified. The kind of thing that only kids would come up with.
And when it would actually affect people. Like, one guy stopped coming to school for a couple of weeks because he had this beloved paladin character, and he died in a really unfortunate way, and he was just like devastated. And it's just, kids take things like they're so open that a little bit of influence. This is like influence, because you can have the drama of weeks of journey across Middle Earth compressed into a 3 or 4 hour evening. So you're getting that much stimulus jammed into you, and you're like, and plus your social skills are all over the map because you're 15
and you're 15. What's important when you're 15? You're not.
And they had the time to play. They played every day. Can you imagine? Oh man!
Yeah. And there's nothing else really important when you're 15, right? You don't have big stakes in your real life, but you got these huge stakes in your pretend life, and your social life is where the stakes are. And so, yeah, I can see that.
Man.